Ian.
Dave.
How are you doing, buddy?
I am all right. How are you?
You know, it's I mean, we'll drop the curtain. Last night, you and I recorded an episode, right?
Yes.
While we were recording that episode, the news broke that Ken Block had passed away. Mm-hmm. Since we're not, actively on Twitter and stuff while you and I are talking to each other.
Right, that you know of anyway. Yeah.
We didn't find out until after we wrapped up recording. And it's really, really fucking sad to see that guy go. And it's really, really sad to see him go in an accident.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like, I feel the same as like, do you remember when like Colin McRae died or when Richard Burns died? Like,
yeah.
I was thinking about this today, like the three of them all were like kind of like rare, unproblematic motorsport heroes that all kind of died in similar circumstances, away from the sport or whatever. Obviously, Richard, Colin McRae and Ken Block were both accidents, but just a super, super bummer of a day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Our buddy Steve Edwards, I completely echo what you said, but our buddy Steve Edwards said that he felt the same way as when Bourdain passed.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, obviously, like, there was some extra stuff there because Bourdain killed himself,
Right.
And
right.
He was Bourdain. I mean, he was very problematic internally. He had a lot of turmoil as a human being. But like the fact that like somebody that brought so much joy and like inspired so many people, like we just don't have that in the world anymore.
Well, just everything about his story about like, not driving a race until he was 35.
Yeah.
Or 38 or whatever it was he started. Like, and just coming at things as, being really humble and being like, well, this is just gravy, right? Because like he's already had a career and like that's the way that gentleman racers should sort of come at motorsport.
Good point.
Right?
Yeah.
Of like, this is a bonus right now. This is extra, right? And that's not usually how it goes. It's usually those are the people with like the most ego and the most, the most like dick measuring is happens in like, Pirelli World Challenge, which is all just gentleman racers,
with fuck you money, right?
Right, exactly. Which he had.
Right.
And instead I can't remember. I read so many articles about it. Like Matt Farah had a really great one. Autotopian had one. The Drive had one. But one of them was talking about how, I think it was Matt Farah's was talking about contrasting like the Pirelli World Challenge guys with, their paddock is a party, and look at me, I've got my Lamborghini, I'm going to race it. And meanwhile, Ken Block is like in the woods of Vermont with nobody around.
Right.
Like freezing his ass off on a winter rally stage.
Right.
He didn't have to do that.
Exactly. Right.
But he wanted to. And he just was doing the thing that he loved. And he had like a joy about it, and that like came across in everything that he put out and every interaction that anyone has ever had with him. I mean, obviously we've never met him, but I don't know. You kind of feel like him, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. That like, what's it called? Like a parasocial relationship, right? Like he just seemed like a generally affable, like happy person. Right. Yeah. And like the YouTube series or like the build that he was doing with his daughter for his daughter's first car, that was about to just that was about to wrap up. Like,
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff just shows like more care and passion than it does like one-upsmanship or competition, right?
Right. It was the flip side of all the stuff that we complain about with car culture. He did the opposite. And even Hoonigan, like, you know, for as sort of like on the surface sort of broy as that crew was, they're still like very inclusive and very like, hey, you're doing weird, crazy stuff. We're into it, you know. Like,
right.
There's no judgment with that crew at all. It's all very like, if you're having fun, then we're excited about it. We want to know about it, you know, like that sort of thing.
Definitely. Like that really, I think that carried through in my favorite Jim Kahana video, the LA one.
The LA one. Okay. Yeah.
Right. With the Mustang. And when he's doing donuts underneath the lowrider that's hopping, like that like the automotive cultures dovetailing so beautifully together. Right. And then it just went up from there with the more recent ones with the monster truck on its nose and just all of that, like just wonderful meshing of like just general automotive enthusiasm. Right. You know, like you were never going to hear like them like shit on donks or, you know, anything like that. It's very warm and wholesome, you know?
Yeah. Like he built a company for fun, and it comes across like you can tell.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I think that there was another element to it that like we saw with the BMW films where like with his Jim Kahana videos where that is definitely somebody's like first entry into car culture. Right.
Yeah.
You know, and something that you show somebody that wouldn't self-identify as a car enthusiast, they would either get it or they would, you know, at least enjoy watching it, you know?
Yeah. Or I mean the same as the Clarkson era Top Gear, or, you know, really only a handful of other things that I can think of.
Right.
It's a short list.
It is. It is. Right? Like cars like painting themselves into like a niche corner often, right?
Well, and yeah, like those crossover things are fairly rare nowadays. I mean, for the last 20 years, you know, like Drive to Survive would be another example, but like there's not that many. Really.
Right.
And but his videos were 100% one of those. I mean, yeah.
Right.
My favorite one is 9, where like the stunts were getting like, because I love the San Francisco one a lot.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
Just that stunt where he goes up the hill. He's going up the hill. He's in like, you know, 4th or 5th gear or something, and launches it over one of the hills, but like right before throws it sideways.
Yes. And
lands sideways, just and just like kisses the barrier on the way back down the hill. It was just, oh my God. I remember watching that and rewinding it and just being like, okay,
right.
I'm going to watch that 100 times. But the one that I love the most, I think, is 9, where like they were sort of like slowly getting like kind of like the Fast and Furious movies, like bigger
more
and bigger,
ridiculous. Yeah.
More and more ridiculous. And then 9 was supposed to be the one where like, okay, we're gonna fire
the acoustic album.
I was just gonna say we're gonna fire the synth player, and
damn it,
yeah, we're gonna fire the synth player, and we're gonna go back to our roots, to our CBGB roots, and play punk rock again.
Right.
But it's the one where he drifts. He sends it up over sideways over the train tracks, in front of the train.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he's like doing donuts, and his wheel is over the edge.
Hangs off of like like a pier or something like that, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's like back to the industrial sort of setting that they kind of started in. but with like better production values. And there's another moment where he drifts between in a building and hits a sheet of plywood and spits the plywood sideways from the car. Like just such an amazing shot.
Right.
To plan that to where it comes towards the camera, but you can still see the car and amazing.
Right? Yeah. I watched, I think, 1 through 7 today.
Oh, really?
Like just straight in a row, right? And it's so interesting seeing how they ramp up.
Yeah,
right?
really quickly.
Very, very quickly. In production value, in stunts, in I think Ken's driving ability, like how comfortable he is in the car, the capabilities of the cars, like it's all like just on this like parallel upward trajectory, right? You know, yeah, it's so great, you know, and like I haven't watched the electric one yet.
Oh man, it's really cool.
That they did that in Vegas, right? Yeah, I haven't watched that. I have watched the one with Travis Pastrana. Yeah, that was really cool. With the old legacy wagon. Yeah, but yeah, Ken gave us a lot in the automotive culture. Like Dirt 3 on PlayStation 3 was so great, and so, like him like drifting into the main menu was like, you just get tingles every time you see it, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I saw a bunch of people, a couple people also pointed out that like, you know, like his WRC record was not great. Like,
no, he crashed out a lot. Yeah.
He crashed out a lot. He wasn't, he didn't have like a super successful WRC career. But like in the minds of people, like he is up there with Sebastian Loeb and Colin McRae and all these other like just giants of the sport, and deservedly so, because like he has a particular talent, and also like as an ambassador for motorsport, like it's like he's on as for an ambassador for motorsport, it's like him and Mario Andretti, right?
Yeah,
like those are the people that reach out to other like outside of car enthusiasts, and you can feel the joy. Like Mario Andretti doesn't need to drive a Indy car around Indy anymore. He does not need to do that, but he wants to. Right. You know, and you can feel that.
Right. And I think that there's also a difference between individuals in those positions that feel like they're entitled to drive a race car in those settings versus people that are like, oh, sweet, I have the opportunity.
I get to.
Yes, exactly. Right. And with Ken, it was all I get to. Like you feel like he was like, can you believe this shit? Like, how cool is this? Right.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's such a healthy, great attitude towards these things, you know?
Yeah.
Like I just remember do you remember when he put tracks on the Raptor?
Yes.
He spent the entire video just giggling. Just the whole video is just him giggling. And it's delightful, you know?
Yeah. Right?
It's like a 45-year-old man who got a new toy and just loves it.
Yeah. So, you know. Yeah. Right?
Well, once again, bringing you the most timely news, but just know that in the moment that we're recording this, we're very bummed about that.
Yeah.
It's a definitely a sad day.
Yeah.
But I think the way that he changed motorsport, and now that he's gone, I think the only good thing out of that is that I think people are reflecting on what he brought to it and the way that he, did act as an ambassador for it to the rest of the world, and like hopefully people will try to emulate that a little bit more. But yeah.
Nope. Well said. That's exactly it, right? And like, I would assume that like a thing that he would want more than anything is for people to emulate that enthusiasm enjoy, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're enjoying your car, if you're, those characteristics, that's something that he would like and he would support.
And encourage other people to enjoy their cars without ego or judgment, I think, is the other piece of it. Right?
There you go. Yep.
That's the other big thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well said, Ian. Well said.
Yeah. You too. Well done. Good job, us.
I hope we don't have to do very many of these,
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. What else should we talk about?
I'm up for anything on the talkabouts on our agenda. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to drive this boat tonight, buddy?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Captain Ian, toot toot beep beep.
I clicked out of my window, my tab, and I had to find it, but it was hiding behind my microphone. It's okay.
Put in a Sev 1 ticket.
Mm-hmm. Let's do a little palate cleanser.
Okay.
And let's do a license plate game.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go straight back into fun.
Okay. All right, you got it. Yeah. So I was thinking about like seeing if I had plates on cars that like Kin drove in Jim Kahana videos, stuff like that. Unfortunately, I didn't have the inventory. So a theme did come together, unrelated. But this one is just called Fine Films. These are all movie-themed plates, Ian.
Whoa, really?
Yep.
You have movie-themed plates?
I have 3 movie-themed plates, each of them sent to me from a different individual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I'm excited to see this.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Here is the Fine Films. All right. Take it in, Ian. Take it in.
Oh, wow.
All right. Up top, we've got Jetta. Is that the same? Is that the same blue that your all track is in?
I think it is. Yeah.
What's the official VW paint name for that?
Ooh, I don't remember.
You don't know your paint code color?
I should. I don't remember.
Ian, the old man sedan was diamond graphite metallic.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I don't know what the Nugget and what my LS are.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. I know my car is Tornado Red.
Tornado Red, yes. It was, at least. It was Tornado Red.
Well, now it is red that was hit by a tornado, yes.
Yes. Okay. So we have a blue Jetta up top, right? A red Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
And then a maroon or burgundy Chevy Cruze down at the bottom here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then these license plates. To infinity, to the number 2 NFNTY to infinity, Shrek, and So Fetch, which is a reference to Mean Girls.
One of the greatest movies of all time, Ian.
Mean Girls?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Because
in my head I was like, ooh, it's either Mean Girls or Clueless, and I don't remember which one. But I think it's Mean Girls.
It definitely Mean Girls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if anybody ever tries to come at me, the Mean Girls and or Clueless are not some of the greatest films made.
I am not a huge fan of Clueless. Not a huge fan. I like Mean Girls. I am not a huge fan of Clueless.
It's so good. From a man that is married to a woman that wrote a version of Pride and Prejudice. Yeah.
I know. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get into these.
Oh, we should mention the thing about the Jeep, because the other cars are perfectly normal.
Yeah. So I was about to get into that. So
okay.
There's not a lot of context clues about the Jetta. Let's start there. Just to start on top. That is a Michigan plate.
Yep.
It's a Michigan plate.
Sure is.
Now, a key piece of information for me was this picture taken in Michigan?
I'm not giving you any of that kind of information. Look, all the taillights are working. I think VW.
People from Michigan who
out.
are in Michigan are very different from people who are from Michigan who have left Michigan.
Okay. All right. Explain yourself. You're somebody who's left Michigan.
Yeah. Okay. So Michigan is the Florida of the North. They're both more backwards than the surrounding states, and they're both peninsulas.
Uh-huh.
And in both cases, people don't leave the state.
Right.
Like I know many people from Michigan, from the central part of Michigan, who have never been to Chicago, which is
and
like
how far of a drive is that?
4 hours.
One of the greatest cities in America.
Right.
Right. Not doing it.
No, just doesn't
Right.
even occur to them. Like,
Right.
why would I go? I could go to Mackinac Island for the 400th time in my life and eat fudge while I smell horse shit, you know? Might as well do that instead.
This is like that episode where I went real hard on Missouri.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you do you, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing, Detroit style pizza, you could fuck right off with that.
What? Detroit style pizza is delightful.
No.
I love me some Jets.
Oh God, Jets is horrendous. It's so bad. You know what? When I was in Chicago and I was walking to the L station.
You're so wrong.
I was walking to the L station. And I passed a Jets, and I was like, "Who the fuck is eating Jets in Chicago?"
Jets.
I
is
ate Jets.
great.
I ate Jets in the last week.
I love Jets.
It's aggressively bad. There's no flavor.
How can you be upset at that crust and just just hot bread crust with tomato sauce and meat on top?
It just doesn't have any flavor. There's no flavor to the crust.
What?
It's not good. Anyway, I got another like 35 minutes on Michigan and its terrible food. I will say some of the best Middle Eastern food in the country is in Metro Detroit.
Oh yeah, do they have a huge immigrant population?
They do. They do.
That's awesome.
And the like the Lebanese food there or whatever is legit, like really,
awesome.
really good.
Nice.
Everything else is terrible. God help you if you try to get Mexican food there. Oh God.
Or a cup of coffee.
Or a cup of coffee. Man. Yeah. Anyway, we need to move on. I'm getting angry.
What I want, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Dave this. I'm gonna get us equipment that lets us overlay our heart rates and pulses, so we can see your little graph go up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But when you told me about the coffee, I will never ever forget that my first reaction was like, "It's coffee. How bad could it be?" Right? Like, I drink gas station sludge when I need to. I was so wrong. That
was Wisconsin. Wisconsin is even worse with the coffee.
I was so wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, Wisconsin, as bad as that coffee is, and I mean, I use Wisconsin coffee as a shorthand for bad coffee.
Yeah.
It's the second worst coffee in the country, because the first worst coffee in the country.
Here it
guess.
You're gonna take down chicory coffee in Louisiana or something.
No.
Okay.
Nope. I wouldn't dream of it. I don't.
Okay.
I like chicory coffee every once in a while.
Yeah.
No. Utah.
Oh, okay. Well,
because it's made by people who have never drank coffee before, and they're just guessing. So one cup you'll get, and it'll be like sludge. And the next will be like Wisconsin coffee, where somebody whispered the word caffeine in a neighboring county.
To a hot cup of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm all fired up just from the Michigan plate. We need to scroll.
This license plate game was supposed to bring us joy. This is supposed to bring us happiness, Ian.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're getting off the Jetta and its Michigan plate. All right.
Joke's on you. I have none. Joy. Okay.
All right. So we're zoomed in on the red Jeep Wrangler with a hard top.
Now we're in a red Jeep Wrangler from Virginia. We've got a sparkly license plate frame.
Yep. Very bedazzled.
We've got a very baubled Christmas wreath where the spare tire would normally be.
Mm-hmm. I
Maybe
think
just over the spare tire?
it's on the spare tire. Yeah, you can see the tire back behind it here.
We've got some butterflies.
Uh-huh. Typical Christmas decoration.
I have got definitely a front runner in mind for this one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Now
And
the
then
Chevy Cruze.
Chevy Cruze. Is this Montana?
Yeah, it's a Montana plate.
Very, very thin bezeled license plate frame.
Mm-hmm. Or it's just dirt that makes it look like a shadow. I think that's what it is.
Mm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I'm guessing that's from Steve.
Just sitting in traffic.
We've got a couple pieces of snow. And that's it. Not much else to go on.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, so fetch is going on the Wrangler, right? Like, come on. Gotta be. It's going on the Wrangler.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
locked in. I'm locked in there. So now, a Jetta driver from Michigan and a Chevy Cruze driver from Montana. And I have to choose between Toy Story and Shrek for the two of them. Man. Now, I will say, just to argue against myself for a second.
Uh-huh.
The other thing that always goes through my head every time I see a Jetta, is from The League. Do you remember that show?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Where Taco goes on a whole rant for one episode about how
hot
Jettas are only
Jettas.
driven by hot girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for a moment, I was
and he starts under the table working at a Volkswagen dealership.
Yes. So there's a part of me that wants to put So Fetch on the Jetta just for that reason.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna say that the So Fetch has got to be on the Wrangler. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put Shrek on the Chevy Cruze.
Okay.
Just because a Chevy Cruze in that color is the most Shrek-like car of the three of these.
Okay.
The most ogre-like car that I don't want to drive. And then the to Infinity, I'm going to put on the Jetta.
Okay. All right. Would you, Ian, like to change any of your answers?
Which ones should I change?
I'm going to stop asking you that from now on.
I'm not doing it. I'm going So Fetch on the Wrangler, 100%. The other ones, I'm 50%. It's as good as I'm going to get.
All right, here you go. You ready, buddy?
Yeah.
Happy belated Christmas. You got all three right.
Boom.
PETA sent us the To Infinity. Jesse sent us the So Fetch. And Steve sent us the Shrek. So thank you, PETA. Thank you, Jesse. And thank you, Steve.
Oh, man. Jesse, hats off to you, Jesse, because that is quite the spot.
It's perfect. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Would you say that it's
So
Fetch?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Right.
Well done, everybody. Good job, team.
Thank you, folks, for sending those in. And if you have vanity plates of your own, you can send them to 720-515-1391.
Yes.
Yeah. Put them in Dave's hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
What else shall we talk about tonight?
What else we got on the talk boots, Ian?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. We've got. I'm going to bring us back down.
We're going to get into this?
Back down.
Okay, this is like the breakdancer doing the up rock, like before they get into the circle, before they start spinning on their head, right? Okay.
Okay, so as you're listening to this will have been a week and a half ago, whatever. So a million years in the internet terms, but whatever, we're going to talk about it.
Right.
So, Andrew Tate, who is just a noted asshole.
Yeah, awful human being. Yeah.
Awful human being, was was arrested. But basically, the thing that sort of like it didn't kick it off, but it just happened to happen like right before he got arrested, was that he out of nowhere
just
tried to brag
something.
about his cars to Greta Thunberg.
Right. For no reason.
For no reason. And if there's one thing that even I, a dummy, knows, it's that teenage girls are terrifying. And why would you go out of your way to anger one?
You're taking a broomstick to a fucking hornet's nest while you're naked and, covered in sugar water. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Teenage girls are the most terrifying force on the planet, period.
Absolutely. When I'm in the mall and I see a group of teenage girls, I go to the other side of the walkway.
Right. Yeah.
Because I just know that they're gonna stop what they're doing. They're gonna look at me and just tell me that they don't want to go to a prom with me. So I just need to keep on going.
Have you watched the latest Tom Papa special?
No.
It's so great. You have to watch it. It's hilarious, but he has a great bit about like his teenage daughters harassing him. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yes.
Yeah. So
out of nowhere,
this fucking
Tate
idiot
just posted this. Yeah.
Right. And so he posts this, and then she comes back and says basically like what the fuck you talking about? You can email me more information because he asks for her email address in this exchange, and then she says you can email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com, which is genuinely really funny.
Right? Yeah.
And then he like posts this weird ass like video or whatever, and then he
of him like smoking a cigar and eating pizza.
Yeah. And then he gets arrested.
Right.
And it turns out that there was a rumor going around that it was because of the pizza box, and that turns out to not be true, but whatever. He tipped his hand being an idiot on social media earlier in the week, and so the authorities knew where he was.
In Romania.
He's arrested for basically trafficking, right?
Human trafficking.
For human trafficking, and basically confirming all of the like the worst things that everyone has been saying about him for years now.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring this back because this is like the smallest tie into cars with the Bugatti bragging, all that. We talked about this back. Cast your mind back. Cast your mind back to the Trump administration. And I brought up a theory of shitbirds beget shitbirds. Right?
Okay. Explain yourself. Yes.
All right. So shitbirds are just like people who just like kind of suck at life, right? Like it's a term that's used a lot in the military, and it's usually reserved for people who joined right out of high school and just like cannot stop themselves from fucking up, right? Like
right.
They
go out of their way to fuck themselves up. Yeah.
Just dumb shit. Like I knew a guy in training. We were in Biloxi, and he went to New Orleans, smoked weed, and then when he got back, realized what he had done. Because that's not against the rules. And decided to drink bleach to cleanse it out of his system. And I had to like physically restrain him from drinking bleach in the dorms. That, ladies and gentlemen, is shitbird.
Yeah, that's top-notch shitbird behavior right there. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Just like being kind of a bad person, but also just mostly just dumb.
Right.
Like
I think about that Eric Andre meme of him shooting Hannibal on the couch, right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Exactly. And what happens with shitbirds is that they attract slightly smarter shitbirds and more evil shitbirds.
True. Yep.
Recognize the shitbirds over there, and they were like, "Oh, that one's vulnerable. I have an axe to grind." And then eventually the shitbirds are Nazis, right? Like that's just
Right.
that's how it works.
It's the 6 shitbirds of separation.
Right. Eventually it's one's a Nazi.
Yes, with way less Kevin Bacon and way more Nazis. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
And that is what is happening with Andrew Tate, who appeals to the most shitbirds of all of us, teenagers.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
All teenagers are essentially shitbirds. Like they're all idiots.
Right. Right.
And in crisis.
Uh-huh.
And idiots in crisis are the prime target for evil shitbirds, right?
Yep.
And so that is what's happening with that. It's the exact same phenomenon as what has happened with Elon and Kanye.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Because they're both idiots in crisis.
Right. Right.
You know, geniuses, probably, maybe, but also idiots.
Right.
Right? Those aren't mutually exclusive things. They're idiots in crisis, and so the shitbirds are the only ones there to help them out, because everyone else is just like, you're being an idiot.
Right.
Appropriately. But you know who's there to scoop them right up?
Other shitbirds.
Other shitbirds.
Okay.
And eventually those shitbirds are Nazis.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I think that, like, you know, the appeal of Andrew Tate is 100% just, oh, those people are telling you you're an idiot. I'm here to help you. Right.
Right. Right.
Like, I'm here with open arms.
Right.
To-
they just don't understand the grind of a Sigma male. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But they will seriously say stuff like that.
Yeah. With a
Right.
straight face.
Yeah, yeah, like stuff like you know, I see we've seen it in car culture a million times. Dumb shit like, you know, there's a reason a sports car has 2 seats. You know, like, you know, like inferring that, like, you know, you don't need to make any friends, or like you know,
Right,
like,
right.
yeah, yeah,
It's just there to reinforce whatever dumb decisions you're already making.
Right. Right.
Instead of helping you fix, you know, instead of helping you get better, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
That's exactly what those people do, and the kings of that have always been white supremacists and Nazis. Like that is how they recruit people, right?
Right. Right.
And that, like, you know,
and religious
shitbird-
leaders. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
And I mean, there's a reason why there's people out there who have, like, gone from being super fundamentalist Christians to joining ISIS, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it was never about the faith or the religion. It's all part of the same shitbird to Nazi pipeline.
Right. Right. That horseshoe, right? Like you go one way and you end up.
Well, but I don't even think it's a horseshoe. I think it's just it's people who have a life, right?
Right.
The two ends of the spectrum are people who can, like, get through life, and whatever shape that takes. It doesn't mean that they have to be with someone or even employed or whatever, but that they can move through the world and kind of understand their place in it. And then the shitbirds, right, who just
Right.
can't do that. And those are the people who get sucked into this pipeline. And it doesn't really matter if they're socialists or if they're right wing or whatever particular shitbird, you know, comes and plucks them out of that pool. That it's all the same thing.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And I think the pickup artist bullshit
Yep.
that Tate is part of is the same exact playbook that has happened to Elon and Kanye, because who's going to be there for you when everyone else abandons you? The uber shitbirds.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do enough dumb shit, eventually somebody like Jim Jordan's going to be like, "Hey, you want to get a coffee?"
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get a coffee and talk about how the libs have
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same reason that there's so many of the people who have been canceled or whatever for doing legitimately bad things, or even the borderline ones,
right,
end up in this like weird right wing
fucking club. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and it's because there's always a right wing shitbird there to welcome someone who's been ostracized,
right,
or thinks they've been ostracized, which
right.
is usually more the case.
Right. Common things like of the shitbirds are like having no introspection whatsoever, like no ability to say like maybe I made a mistake, right?
Right.
You know, yeah, like just mapping like it's that like that highway analogy that like people started kind of floating when Trump was elected, right? Like imagine him driving down the wrong way on the highway, right? Mm-hmm. And like the shitbirds are the ones that are like, yeah, man, like you're just pissed off because he's finding a better way to get through traffic, and it's like, no, he's a fucking moron that's gonna hurt people, right?
Yeah. But anyway, it just occurred to me that like that he's an example of somebody who's everyone always wonders what happened to Kanye, what happened to Elon. And I think it's as simple as that. Like the only people left around to talk to them were shitbirds.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's an example of someone who's doing that to, people younger than us,
Yeah.
Like, and it's genuinely scary and gross.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like his whole thing of the reason he moved to Romania was because they don't prosecute sex crimes there. Like he said that publicly. Like it's
the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a legit asshole and just an idiot. Like if you hear him talk for like 10 seconds, you're like, oh, this guy's a moron.
Right. Yeah.
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 And the counterpoint it would be, he made all this money or whatever. Yes, by exploiting people.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
That doesn't take a great intellect.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, by having some kind of fucking wiring missing that somehow lets him get a night's sleep. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Anyway, fuck that guy. That was a long way. That was a long segment to just say fuck that guy. That was basically the point of it.
No, but I do appreciate the many ways we said fuck that guy over the course of our journey, right?
Fuck that guy and also fuck Jets Pizza. There, we're done. Okay.
Wrong. Jets is delicious. Jets is delicious.
Not a sponsor, by the way. Not a sponsor. In case anyone was wondering.
I'm going to get them to sponsor the podcast. Brought to you by Jets. You're going to have to wear all Jets. And you're just going to be so mad. You're going to look into your webcam with just such hatred. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly bring up a delicious slice
as
of
I'm
Jets
reading
pizza.
an ad off a card.
And I'm going to eat it straight into the microphone.
Enjoy the taste of Detroit.
Motor City in your mouth.
Vroom, vroom. Motor City in your mouth.
Opening 3 new locations in your area. I love Jets. You're wrong.
That's okay. I'm right. That's fine. That's okay.
Oh, Ian. Oh, buddy.
Well, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. I don't know where else to go from here. I don't have another license plate game. What else?
Well, I think we have something that Johnny sent us, right?
Oh, we do have another pick me up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
That's why I was like, let's do every other.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Beep beep toot toot, Captain, for driving.
Beep beep, I'm a big boy. Okay.
Yes, you are. Okay. So this goes back to our alignment chart. I'm going to pull up our alignment chart for the folks.
Yeah, and for me, because I've forgotten what we put. Oh, this was good. We did a good job here.
Now remember, this is all Craigslist centric, right?
Yes.
Not just the car itself. But if you saw an ad for this on Craigslist and you chose to buy it, this is how it would impact your life. This is the energy at which it would impact your life. The velocity.
The flavor of bad decision.
Yes, there you go, right? Yeah, we're Baskin Robbins this shit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So We have things like a K pick 'em up truck, like Sid's Oliver up there in Lawful Good, right?
Yes. Which, by the way, do you remember there was the guy around the corner from me who was selling the Sundowner, like beautiful
Yes.
Sundowner pickup truck, and he had that and the Mini together. Now he's cycled through a few cars in that spot. That is in his spot now, which is just, I was so psyched when I saw it. I was like, yes, that is amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No. So from there all the way to a used seventh owner Maserati Quattroporte, right? That this is like, remember that Mr. Show sketch where they had the frying pan and they're like, kiss the pan, pan kisses you, pan, like, and they hit the person over the head. That is exactly what a used Maserati Quattroporte is, right? Yeah. So we have one from Johnny, and I want to see what your take is on how this would class up on our alignment chart here. So we'll keep the alignment chart open in a tab here.
Okay.
I'm going to show you pictures that Johnny sent. Let me just check real quick. All right. Oh my God, these are all 0 bytes because Twitter can eat a dick. Let me log into my Twitter real quick and get some screenshots. Let me get some messages. Have you had that where like you drag an image over from Twitter or something and it's just like 0 bytes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what happened here. So,
I usually blame that on Windows, but maybe that's not.
Nope, it's happening on Tim Apples as well, Ian. All right. Okay, let's delete these. Okay, let's save image as. Is it that WebP dumb image shit? I don't know, Ian. I don't know. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This is Dave uses a computer.
I know, right? And not very well. Fuck, still 0 bytes. This could suck it. Okay. All right. We're taking a screenshot, Ian. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Paste it in.
There's a screeny. Oh, look, 1.3 megs. It's an actual image with data. All right. Here you go, Ian.
Voice is given out.
It is. I'm so angry. Ian, this is a Ford Escort.
Yes.
1998 ZX2.
Yes.
Named, tell the people.
Named bankroll.
Yep.
And it's got, I'm going to say a small block or maybe an old 302 in it or something.
Ian, I've got plenty of info from you from the screenshots Johnny sent.
But it's clearly transverse or clearly longitudinal V8 engine. Shoved into a ZX2 for reasons that I'm sure will become apparent. And there's a cage in there too.
Ian, do you want to see the reasons?
Yes.
Check this shit out.
It's a drag car of some sort.
Yeah, this is all the reason you need right here, Captain. Boom.
Yeah.
Big ass slicks, giant drag car, right?
Yeah. I've seen builds like this before.
Right.
And with this in particular, why a ZX2?
Yeah.
Because it could be, at this point, it's just a tube frame, right? It could be fucking anything.
Right. It's just got to be something that they had.
Maybe.
That just had good enough steel to weld to.
Yeah.
A clean enough body.
Which I guess in Wisconsin or Illinois is like,
right?
That's not nothing.
All right, here we go. Here's the description this is a Facebook Marketplace ad. All right. 1998 Ford Escort named Bankroll has title and VIN. So, hey, look at that. Title and VIN. Full square tube chassis, 4-link back. 32 by 14 Mickey Thompson drag radius. It's a 360 cubic inch engine, 8.2 liter. Ian. Yeah. 1,000 cubic foot per minute carb, dry sump oil. Just all kinds of stuff. Cage is out of cert. Okay, take that into consideration. Runs 10.4 with very tight torque converter. Should run high 9s with the torque converter tune-up. Lots of new parts, too much to list. Gentleman I rent storage from has health issues and will no longer have a spot for it. We'll separate if roller sells first. Yeah.
Okay, so
There you go.
what's your opinion on a build like this? What's your first thought?
Its first thought is it's not masquerading as anything else. There's no deception whatsoever. It's even called bankroll, Ian. It's called bankroll. That's what they named the car.
Yeah.
There's no deception. There's no tomfoolery. Like, this is a straight shooter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I will
lawful,
admit that I
lawful.
don't fully understand drag racing
Okay.
and its appeal, essentially.
Okay.
But on the alignment chart,
Yeah.
where does it go?
I think lawful. It's in that lawful column for sure, because it is. I mean, there's no deception, no chaos, no neutrality. It is.
You're not
just-
going to buy this and make it a daily driver.
Right.
This
Right.
is a toy. It has a
Yes.
clear purpose.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, there are expectations that are placed, like that are broadcast instantly whenever you go in the vicinity of this car. You can see a jack stand in the reflection of this car's paint in
Yes.
this picture, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
so again, our alignment chart. Can we go back to the alignment
Yeah,
chart?
absolutely, buddy. Yeah.
The alignment chart is to say in which way is this car going to ruin your life?
Yes.
Essentially, right?
Yes.
And I think I'm leaning towards lawful neutral on this one.
I am as well. Yeah. Do you want to pull up the lawful neutral definition?
Yes.
And we'll see how much home it hits. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. That law and order are desirable ends in and of themselves. So it means it's the best alignment you can be because it means you are reliable and honorable without being a zealot. So
Okay.
maybe that's not right. Maybe this belongs in. Let's see. Let's read
It's-
lawful evil. Lawful
So-
evil methodically takes what he wants within the limits of his code of conduct without regard for whom it hurts. That is, if that's not the description of a race car
named Bankroll.
of a race car in a sport like drag racing,
Right.
which is just throw money at it
Right.
all the time.
Right.
That's where that belongs.
Right.
It has a purpose,
Yep.
and it will ruin you.
Yep. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm happy with lawful evil for this one.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's called Bankroll. If my name was Dave Gonna Steal Your Kidney and I stole your kidney,
Right.
you'd be like, well,
Yeah.
it does what it says on the Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Dad, why am I going to community college? Well, this is my car college fund.
Exactly. Right? Yeah.
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 I mean, super respect to this build because it looks crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
It looks like a lot of effort to go in a straight line.
It does.
But hey, again, sticky flipper salute.
I think this is what happens when every single Fox body Mustang in a 400-mile radius of you is rusted out.
Yes, I
Right?
think you might be right.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
really good point.
And have you ever known somebody that had a ZX2 that didn't like it? I didn't. Anybody that I knew that had any flavor of Ford Escort actually enjoyed the car.
Well, my sister had one, and she spent most of the time jumping railroad tracks with it.
Oh, well, then that is, you cannot judge as to whether or not the car let her down.
And she's still here, so that's good.
True. Thankfully. Yes.
Yeah. I think they were. I mean, they were fine.
Yeah.
But they weren't. I don't feel the need to preserve one.
No, but I think it falls into that Ford Probe category of like anybody that had one looks back on it fondly.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
I think it would be more important to preserve, if I had to choose, right?
Uh-huh.
If like there was a spot in a museum for one sort of like, you know, redheaded stepchild Ford product from that era. I mean, if I had to choose between a ZX2 and a Ford Probe, I would choose a Ford Probe every day.
Yeah, I'd probably pick the Probe as well. Yeah.
It's a more interesting car for Ford's history.
Because it was supposed to replace the Mustang and like all that stuff. Sure. Yeah.
And the ZX2 is just, you know.
I mean, it's their competition to the Chevy Cavalier and the Honda Civic is what it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And then Dodge came out with the Neon and everybody bought that. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think this is concurrent to the Neon.
Yeah.
This is the same time as the Neon.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Civic is the better car of all of those.
Right, but this is the one that everybody that said we're not going to buy a foreign car.
That's it, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Which I'm amazed they found one of these without rust, because I mean they all exist in the Midwest, I'm assuming, and they're all got to be so rusty. Yep. This looks super clean and cool.
It does. I mean, like the body's straight on it. That looks like the original windshield glass. Yeah.
Surely not.
I mean, look at it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Right? It's got the sun. It still has the sunroof, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
Well, Johnny, thank you for sending that to us. That's a good one. It's a really good one. It's a good Craigslist find.
Yeah.
Or Marketplace or whatever it was.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to buy Bankroll, please report back to us how it's ruined your life.
Yeah. I want to hear all about it. Mr. Dave.
Mr. Ian?
I think we did a car show.
Yeah.
I think if people enjoy this, they should text us at 720-515-1391. Maybe email us, apexadjacent@gmail. RIP Ken Block.
Yeah.
We love you, everybody. Beware the shitbirds. Goodbye.